Hello, third graders, and today we're going to be learning all about the western region of the United States. More specifically, we are going to focus on Wyoming. So if you look right here, it's kind of in the center near Montana, Idaho, Utah, Colorado. So let's get started. So Cheyenne is Wyoming's capital. It's also the largest city. You can see that these are the states that border Wyoming. You have Montana in the north, South Dakota and Nebraska on the east, Colorado and Utah on the south, Utah and Idaho on the west. The geography you can see that there's a lot of mountain ranges in Wyoming. You have the Rocky Mountains. Gannett Peak is the highest point. And there's also some lakes. There's Yellowstone National Park, which is very beautiful. There's also some flatlands in Wyoming. It's not all mountain ranges, but the flatlands are in between the mountain ranges, so they call them like holes. The Great Divide Basin is very dry and windy, which can form like sand dunes and things like that. You also have the Great Plains, and because there's like higher elevations, lower elevations in Wyoming, the temperatures do vary quite a bit. In July, if you're on the mountain ranges, the average temperature could be 59 degrees, but if you're on the plains, they could average about 71. And the winter is about 21 degrees. So if you look at this map, you can see there are tons of mountains. There's the basins, you got the national parks, lakes, right here, Yellowstone Lake, and there's a lot of rivers. So it's a very, very beautiful state, very underappreciated, if you ask me. The landmarks, this is Yellowstone Park. It is the first national parks created. It is known for their Old Faithful, the geyser, and then it also has a lot of wildlife. This is Jackson Hole, Wyoming. This is actually the most photographed barn in the United States. It is absolutely gorgeous, the town, because you are right by, you're like sitting on the low part of the Teton range of the Rocky Mountains. It is very, very, very awesome. This is the Devil Tower. It is a very, very large rock. There's an old legend thinking that the bears are the giant bear claws scratch the rock, and that's why it has so many of those vertical grooves. Independence Rock, I found this to be very interesting. It's a large granite rock that when people were traveling to California on like the Oregon Trail or the California Trail, their goal was to make it to this rock by July 4th, Independence Day. And when you passed the rock, you wrote your name on it. And they wanted to get to this rock by July 4th because they wanted to make it into California in time before winter started. So, because of their goal of the July 4th timeline, they call it Independence Rock. So, very interesting. This is the Buffalo Bills Center of the West in Cody, Wyoming. It's a bunch of museums that talk about the Native Americans and how Wyoming became established back in the day. This is Grand Teton National Park. It connects to Yellowstone National Park. It's very famous for its beautiful mountain ranges and snow-covered tops, and it's beautiful. So if you'd like to learn more about Wyoming, feel free to go on PebbleGo Next. There's tons of information about the history, the government, people, what people do for work, and some cool facts.